there, lovely stitchers. I hope you're all well. So in this week's episode of Through the Garden Gate, we are going to make a little snail. Let me see if you can see it in the light. It's not very great in, oh, that's a little bit better at that angle. It's not very great in here today. It's raining, so yeah, it's a bit grey and dank. So we've done a little bit of Camphor inspired stitching, and I've had the sari silk out to do this. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll get on with it. So in my garden, and I'm sure in yours, I've got a little battle going on with snails and slugs. Even though, I'll be honest, I do have a wildlife pond, and the frogs do a great job of keeping down the masses, shall we say. But just outside my back garden, I have a beautiful bed of hostas, and some of the leaves are as big as dinner plates. And every evening, I will go out and have a little look to see if I can see the snails, particularly snails in that area, because they love the hosta leaves. The small ones, if you've got the big ones, they're too bitter. They don't like them. They don't like climbing up the stalk to get to them, and they don't like the taste of the bitter big leaves. But the little ones they love. So I'm going to do a snail. That's just a little rough idea, but first off I'm going to do the leaf. I'm going to do a leaf, and I found a little piece of green fabric, because some of my hostas are like a silver blue colour, and I thought I'd pad it out with a bit of this wadding, the Reggie wadding. For those of you who are new here, when Reggie was a puppy, and more evidence, yeah, you couldn't leave anything lying around. He still loves wadding. It's the cotton, because this is like a natural cotton. He just loves it. He likes to shred it, so you don't leave anything like that lying around. So anyway, I've digressed. So I thought I'd do a leaf. I've got lavender because I've been making a little a new kit for the shop. I'll give you a little spoiler. It's a little greenhouse, look. So yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so I've put some lavender in it because whenever I make something that I stuff, I like to put a bit of lavender in, just to deter moths and things. So right, I've gone off on a proper tangent. So let's do a leaf. Well, like I say, I'm going to pad it out. I've got Gertrude hair everywhere. She's been this morning wowing at me, meowing at me, and I'm thinking, what's the matter with her? And I went to her she has her food out of reach of Reggie because he would just gobble it down. And she's been telling me for the last hour or so that she's hungry. Right, so let's just get a pencil and draw a leaf. Let's do a leaf. Doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it kind of heart-shaped hostas are, and it's just for a background. If I do it at a kind of a jaunty angle like that, I bet you can't see what I'm drawing, can you, as always? Shall I zoom in? Yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of a jaunty angle. Try not to make it too flat on the bottom. Cover that bit of paint up. It's like a... There we go. That'll do. So that kind of thing going on. Can I transfer it to that? I know let me just, doesn't matter, this pen will come off, so not too worried. Always, if I do it bigger, I can always cut it back. Can't I? Doesn't have to be exact. Just giving myself some space on my page. Excuse me. Pen run out. Yeah, Gertrude's not been down for a while on the camera. When I worked upstairs, she loved it because I was in her room. It's too big. So she would come and get in on the action, shall we say. But she doesn't bother coming down so much down here. I was working out how old she was. I think she's 12. Which I don't think is very old for a cat. Cats can live forever, can't they? And she's very active. Well, no, let's get this right. She's a cat. She's not that active. She'll sleep for, oh my gosh. I mean, that's virtually bang on. Crikey. So I'm going to just, why am I turning it over? There's no right and wrong. I ought to turn that over. Just going to cut out this, but actually I want it smaller, don't I? Just give it. Yeah, she's active. She's, you know, she's still running up and down. She's not, she's not slowed down. She's still bringing in small creatures. In fact, I watched her. I might have already said this. I might have already told you in another video, you know what it's like. I'm just going to cut this a little bit small, about 5mm, quarter of an inch, just so I can tuck. I'm not going to tuck my leaf under, just so I can stitch it on and it looks like it's in relief. Yeah, I watched it the other day. I was in my bedroom, which looks out onto the back of the house, the garden, and she was on the roof of the neighbour's shed, and she was being marauded and bombarded by crows. Did she care? Did she heck? She was just sitting there sharpening her murder mittens or cleaning her murder mittens, you know, like what? She got that absolute look of disdain that cats give you on her face, and these 3 crows were just blitzing her, and she just was not interested at all. So what I'm going to do, just because I've gone off tangent, off pieced, I'm just going to stitch this down, and then I'm going to add some veins with these threads. Maybe that one, and that one's from a snail. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to use machine thread for this. Oop. Just find a needle. Feels a bit long. Does anybody else have really favourite needles? That one feels a bit wrong. I'm looking. There you are. Mine are chenilles. Chenilles, because I have a very long eye and a very sharp point. And this is a 26. Okay, so I'm on page 9. Just make sure. And I'm going to just pin it down a little bit. So it doesn't move. If I'm doing knots, I like a straw needle or a milliner's needle. Back to the needles. But I do supply all needles in my online shop, and they are all British made John James needles, and I just do them in little tubes like this. And that's all rubbed off, but you know, that kind of cute idea. Now you can do needle turn applique should you wish. I'm just doing raw edge. And I'm literally just going to tuck. You could do a running stitch. I'm just doing whip stitch, overcast stitch. You could do blanket stitch, whatever you like. Actually, you know what? Now I've said running stitch. No, I'm not. But if you are doing raw edge applique, make sure you're taking enough of the fabric that it's not going to fray and your stitch cut falls off the edge. Spoken with from a woman who's had a lot of experience of that. It's raining today. I know I have to introduce the weather with Brits. It's compulsory. I did have to giggle. Last year probably it was. I meant to have even been a year before. I don't know whether anybody follows a lovely lady called the Yorkshire Peach on Instagram. She lives in Leeds, but she's originally from Georgia in America, and she did a little vloggy type thing about what she does, what her friends ask her she does, or her American friends ask her she does when it's very hot in England. And she said, put the washing out, hang the washing out, and it's so true. I go around the house when we have like a few days on a trot. Go around the house looking for things to wash, duvets and throws off the settee and cushion covers and all sorts of things. I'm sure you can relate. Those Brits. But it did make me laugh. Oh yeah. And what constitutes as a heat wave in the UK apparently is more than 3 days, 3 days or more of high pressure and heat. So, according to the Met Office. So there you go. This is a chalk pencil, by the way, and it does rub off. While you're stitching, it does come off. I'm giving it a whirl. And why not? Yeah, so I can hear it. The rain just running off the side of the drain pipe down the front of the house. But that's good. Good for the hostas for sure. Just going to take that out and just flatten it down a little bit. Smush it down. There we Oh no, not there we go. I've got another side to do. Just going to stitch that down on that point because it'll come up. If not, oh yes, I want to get this done, and then I'm going to go on a little jaunt to the charity shops, just because I haven't been for a bit, and I'm on the lookout for a couple of things. So it's a trip to Edwinstowe today, which is in the heart of Sherwood Forest. With the major oak, Robin Hood's hideout, oak tree is situated. I won't be going to see the oak because now you have to pay to go into the visitor centre, which is fine because they need the upkeep. Right, I've done. I can take that off. Sorry that you couldn't see the thread, but you get the drift of what I'm doing, don't you? There we go. So now I'm going to just give this some definition. And I'm using some sheep's thread for that, because I don't mind that being seen. And I'm going to use I'm just looking if I can put that one. Just looking at the eyes of these needles, see if I can thread without faffing about too much. Okay. I'm just going to do this little bit of definition here. And I'm literally just going to do some running stitch. Again, I picked a thread that you can't see very well. I'm not making my stitches too small. In fact, I think I'll just go back on that one in the in-between stitches. Just to pull it in on the, just because it's a bit of definition. But I can't see myself. What? There it is. It's such a great match. What colour is this? 528. And this is Candy Floss. Sheep is Candy Floss. Again, it is in the shop. I mean, I'm not encouraging you to go out and buy new. But I'm also a great believer in, because I love charity shops. I love them. And I have got so many things, or lots and lots of vintage and antique bits and bobs that I will cut up and use and blah, 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 blah. You know, old bits of clothes, all sorts. My stuff, bits of duvets, old curtains, the lot. But I do like nice thread. And I'll always encourage people to kind of do that. You know, if it makes you happy, you get the thread. Get the scissors, get the needles. Oh, my tea's gone cold. And obviously, shameless plug, go to the shop, go to the online shop. Right, I'm going to do some, I just want to do some lines of veins. But I don't want, I'm going to draw my, oh, I broke that. I'm going to draw myself some lines because I want to follow them. I want to follow the curve. And I know what I do. I go and forget what I'm doing and it all goes a bit wrong. It's 9 o'clock. Early morning start today. Not really that early, is it? Doesn't have to be perfect. As always, I'm going to cover some of it up with a snail. But I'm going to go, let's just see if we can see what I'm stitching. And I am only going to do running stitch just to give it a little bit of a quilted, padded kind of look. This needle's not the best. I just do that, come up into the end. Can you see what I'm doing? Is it wanting to focus? Yeah. So I'm going to do these and then I'll be back. I'll be back in 2 sheets of a lamb's tail. Okie doodle. So that's that done. I've just running stitch and it's given it like a little bit of texture. So I'm going to do my little snail, but I'll start with the body, not the shell. So I've had a little rummage, and they've got like a little frilly edge, haven't they, down here on this where they kind of creep along. So I thought I would use a bit of this tea dyed, rust dyed and tea dyed scrim, because it's got a little bit on the end. And I'm just going to snip a bit off at a jaunty angle. Because what I shall do is I shall scrunch him up a bit. And then I'm just going to stab stitch him down. Just needle. Keep thinking where Reggie's chewed this, it's going to come. There'll be, but not so far. So right, I'm going to put it about there. I might move it up a bit so the shell. Let me just have a little think. Yeah, move it up a bit, and then we'll have his head up there. Look, do it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And just stitch it down in any way, because if you think about I don't know what's the anatomy of a snail. Got no idea. If you think about their body, we'll call it the body piece. It's like quite lumpy. So I'm just going to stick some stitches in and out, up and down, stab stitching, chicken stitch, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll do some other bits in, probably some French knots, and probably I might embellish it with a bit of stuff, just so it's not. But this scrim lends itself really well because it has a mind of its own kind of texture, open weave texture, and it wants to scrunch itself back up on itself. But I'm doing my stitches any which way. I know that you probably can't see because again I'm using a silly thread that matches. So just excuse me, sure it's secure. I don't want to go up too far yet. Make his, and then come up there, I think. Make him quite long because we want a nice shell on, don't we? Because of course he's not going to be just a common old garden snail, is he? Want to make his little home a fabulous one. Can't believe it's June already. Where's the time gone? My brother's coming to stay with me for a few days. He lives in France. I've mentioned him a million times on this channel. And he's coming over to do a willow work course for some friends, some of my ladies that come on the workshops. It is open to all, by the way. It's next Wednesday. But I've been soaking willow. Who knew that these things had to be done? So yeah, you soak the willow so it can be twisted and whatever into place. I had to make a big trough in the garden to lie it all in these 6-foot pieces of willow. Right, I'm coming up here and I'm making a neck and a head type thing. Just unscrunch that. I think I'll snip you off. I can always add a bit more. Do a rounded shape there. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing jobs in the garden, jobs that need prep for next week. I've also got a dragon workshop, slow stitch workshop in person, Celeste, and that is absolutely fully booked. I'm really looking forward to that because there's a lot of new people that are met at the NEC coming along to that. So I'm sure. Do we think that's all right? What do we think? It's a bit brown looking, isn't it? Do you know what's giving me the creeps a bit? Because it looks so real. And I'm not frightened of snails. They're just a little bit, aren't they? I feel for them. They get a bad rap, don't they? But they just eat everything. Like your lettuce and your hostas. Right. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to stop there because I need to get myself a cup of tea because I've not had my quota this morning. And just what I thought I was going to do with the shell and what I might do now, 2 different things. So I'm just going to go and get the bits for the shell. I'm leaving that up like that because I like it. Just pop you in there. So can you see? I'll probably come in and do some French knots on this little body. I might put a couple of beady bits in just to lift it, give it a bit of Rachel, you know. I can't just leave it like that, can I? So I'll be back in a minute. Alrighty, I've got my cup of tea and I've been and fetched, well, been and had a little scavenge round. And I thought I'd do, this is a bit of cordage I've made. It's not very brilliant. It's just a bit of Liberty fabric and some sari ribbon. And what I thought I'd do is I'd make a shell, a swirl, but I feel first I don't want it so flat. I want it to kind of come up a bit. So I'm just gonna here. I'm just gonna stitch a lump, a few of my bits out of the alt and stitch those down just to give it a bit of, and then it'll give it a bit of background if needs be. Let's find a bit of thread that's already threaded up. Nobody, that will do. Oh, it's already got a knot in it as well. So yeah, just to give it a bit of, oops, I don't want one side. Give it a bit of padding. If you've not got an alt jar, put all the odds and ends of threads in there, and then traditionally they were used to light the fire back in the old days. But I don't, well, I've not thought about using them for that. But yeah, I use them for all sorts. Bits of stuffing, all kinds of things. Just to make sure I'm filming, I am. Just forgot myself. Don't have to be perfect, right? I just want a bit of height. And rather than cut up wadding and start stitching that on, this is easier. Righty-ho. That'll do, I think. I know they've got scrappy bits coming out. I'm not bothered about that. They'll get hidden. And if they don't, it don't matter. I mean, I could just keep on going with that. It'd look quite nice, wouldn't it? Let me have a think about that. I don't think so, because I'm, yeah. Right. Let's get some thread on the go. I think I'll use this one first. Again, I'm using this sheepies because that's what I use. I like, it's like a lace weight, 10 weight thread. What do you call it? Cotton? No, pearl cotton. So it's quite nice. Okie dokie. So let me just think about this. I've got a button as well, so I might pop that in the middle just to give it a bit more cone shape. I've tied a knot, but I'm going to untie that knot. And I want to go round, not that way, because I want the tail width. Which way did I say? Well, that way. Let me just swirl round. That way, yeah. And I'm still, yeah, that's right. I'm just going to undo this knot and just stitch it there. Let me have a look at my swirl. You know when your brain won't compute. So I'm going, oh gosh, I've got a knot. That's the only thing with twisted purlins. They like to knot quite a bit. Right, we'll just snip you off. And stitch you down. Just anchor that down a minute. Oh, sorry. Give you a bit of a wobble. Okay. So my twist I'm going with is that, but I'm going to try and put some of this in as well, which is sari ribbon. I'm going to do both, I think. Let me just think. Now just do the one. It to be quite high up. Might need a bit more padding in there. Just pop a bit more padding in. Can you hear my brain cogs clanging? It's what happens when you have the no plan, guys. Oh gosh. I've said this a million times on here. Well, not a million, but you know. That's why I didn't. That's the bit I hated. Yeah, I'd say hate about teaching. Was all the planning. Disliked it with a passion. I just like to go with the flow. Right, you're in. Let's just get you out of the way. It's like Medusa. I was going to put that in as well, but I think that might be a bit overkill. So if I do that, but if I pop the button on there at the end, maybe I might have to tuck it in. What are we thinking? Yeah, I quite like that. It's like a little hat. These are all vintage ones that came in. Oh, you don't get that anymore, do you? Like that little metal bit on the back. Gorgeous. Who else loves a button? Let's not get talking buttons. So what I don't want to do then is pull this too tight. I just want to literally make sure it's fastened down at different. So just probably a bit of couching will do it. Hold on. Of course, I've got the added bit of trying to make sure that you can see this. So I'm coming up through and back down, just randomly down. Once it's on, we can go round. Don't like you. Get you out of the way. Try not to pull too hard down because I want it. So when I've anchored it, it's still standing proud. I don't want to pull it flat to the surface. You up there? Go around again. If I tuck in under. I think it will. Just, yes. If I tuck under there a little bit. Need and gone. I'm just. Ooh, don't hold your breath, Rach. Cup of tea. There we are. There'll be people out there that will be tearing the hair out of this because it's too scrappy. That bit there might have to be tucked in, only because it is hiding some rather lovely Liberty fabric there, but not too much. Not going too much, but I will. Again, it's having a very lovely, glamorous shell. But I am going to have to zhuzh this up a bit, for sure. I just don't want to fasten that down just yet. Let's just have a go round. That way might not do you. We are. And I will put a pin in that. Let me just find it. There. Don't want to. But I'm going to pin, excuse me, I am going to pin you down there now. Just there now. Once I've stitched, I'm trying to pin it to the table. Oh my gosh. Once I've stitched, I can snip this off. As I say, I think I'm going to call that a day on that bit. Tuck under. Can you see? Oh, I've got my head in the way. Oh gosh. Am I zoomed in enough? Yeah. I can only do little zooms on this. I've not worked out how to do it even more. Where was my thread? So you can be tucked under there. Just do a few little stitches. You don't need many, just need to anchor it. Perhaps I should have had a longer needle now. And don't pull too tight. Have I said that? I've said that already, I know. And I am literally just trying to get tiny scraps of pieces of the fabric. But I can see that's lifting. That needs some stitches in. I'm just coming around this bit just to, so I can take the pin out. Because I don't want to forget it. And I will. Just when I'm talking to you chaps. Just get rid of that. There we go. Why am I whispering? Don't know. I'm going to get myself a bit longer thread. And I'm going to change it to that colour. Ooh. Come on. There we go. Oh. Ping. And anchor this bit down at this side. Problem with this sorry silk ribbon is, apart from me having a bit of a knot on the end, why have I got that? Is it's very fluffy. Oh, what's happened there? Just goodness only knows. Don't know. So just a little few stitches there. Tuck you under. See, even though I'm using different coloured thread, you can't see it in this mix of colours. Right, I'm going to come round here and literally I know it's a bit of a neat edge, but it's not. There we are. Where are we there? Ow. Another sip of tea before it goes cold. Oh. That has come out of there. Right. Okay, so we've got the basics in. Yeah. It's looking quite good. So what I'll do now is I'll start and put some biggish French knots in, just to add, because that's what I like to do. And where you come up through things, don't pull too tightly. I know I keep saying this, but if you pull in too tightly, your fabric will or your cloth will just flatten to the back in, and that's what you don't really want. You want it to be lifting off the fabric, off the backing fabric. I'll come up here and do one because this is not anchored down very well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing a loose, a very, very, very loose French knot. I don't know whether you can see. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. That one. So I've done about 4 wraps. Will I get another one out of this bit? Maybe not. I'm just going to go back down. Here we go. Let me just show you what I've done. I've done like a little cone. It's not very high off the fabric, but it's high enough now. Let's just stitch, get some more thread. And ow, oh gosh, sew myself to the fabric. Let me look at this button. Does it need to be in there? Do we need to tuck that in? Or does it look like a nipple? What do we think? No, I think it needs to be there, don't it? I'm just going to percolate on that and think about it. I don't know. I don't know. Right, let's put some more knots in. And myself a needle. Just thinking on that one. Split it. Oh dear me. Split it, split it. Oh dear me. Come on. I've got a hair or something that can't. That's it. It's gone. I've got numerous needle threaders. Oh gosh. But obviously, goodness only knows where they are. For now. I'm having a day tomorrow where I'm going to tidy this room again. No, can't thread that needle, and I've not got the patience. Do this one. Oh dear. Sometimes you just have to. Right, so French knots, like I say, I'm doing them quite loopy. 3, 4, and just going back down. And I'm not pulling this very tight, the working thread. I'm just holding it so it doesn't disappear. There we are. That's better. Not sure about that. No, I'm not doing it. I feel like it's extra that I don't need. Was by could have threaded that now. By the time I put some sequins on and some beads, that button will be out of place and too much. So I'm going to come up here. Oh, try not to unwind that. Come back down. One, two, three, four, and another one for the good luck. As I always say, if you were doing French knots in a classical kind of way, 3 is about your maximum you want wraps you want to be doing, but because we're making a mixed media kind of thing, you know, you can go a bit crazier. And I'll just do these until I run out of thread, and then I'll just add something else. But don't worry about making sure every little thing's secure, because by the time I've finished embellishing, it will be secure. Right, I've run out of thread. And I'm leaping everywhere on the back, I'm not worried. Okay, I'm going to do something with his body. Just bear with while I go and get something for. I also think there's a bit of a gap here. But as I say, percolating on that. Yeah, let me go and get some bits and bobs for him here, because that it's sort of bothering me that it's got no antennae and it's got not. I know they don't have eyes. They have like those hollow things going on, don't they? Again, who knows what the anatomy of a snail is? Not me. So yeah, I want some antennas that might help me grow to love this one a little bit more, and add some, give him some. I don't know whether or not he knows. Don't know whether or not he needs a bit more body now. What do you think? Because his body seems to have disappeared into nothingness. Mm, yeah, might add a bit of that. Let's cut a bit off. Don't know. Just give it a little bit more. But it's sort of gone flat. Can you see where I've been? So let's just add some more. No biggie. Better. Oh, oh. Pull you out. Oh, the beauties and trials and tribulations of being a textile artist. But I think it's good for people to see the process, the plan, well, the no plan, as I always call it, but the fact that not everything goes to what you're kind of thinking it should look like in your head. And then when you add something else on, it might be, again, like this was, it looked completely lost. So you just need to give yourself, you know, give yourself free rein, really. I think that was another thing about school as well. I didn't have. It was curriculum led, and it was kind of difficult with somebody like me who wanted more freedom to do. I'm sure there'll be teachers out there that are saying, no, you could do what you like. You can do what you like to within reason, as long as it's in your curriculum. But when you've got a class of 30 children, it's not that simple, as we know, because they're all little humans and they all want to do their own thing. But meeting the brief at the same time is, so you kind of get into a state where it's, well, we'll do this one thing and everybody's all look the same, or more or less the same. But there we go. I'm not moaning. I loved teaching. I am moaning. Of course I'm moaning. Right, that's better. Might have to tuck that under a little bit there. Reggie might start barking because the postman, I hear, is collecting all our little parcels. So I'm going off to America today. Yeah, there we go. It's dropped something off as well for me. Right. There we go. I'm going to stop filming because Reggie's going bananas. Okay. So I'm going to put some beads and some sequins and bits and bobs, embellish this bit. I am going to put some on here as well. So I've got, as always, a great big selection of beads and what have you. So beigey browns and creams, and I've got a bit of those, a few of those. They'll do on there, and a few sequins. I'm going to put them in there so they don't fly off. Add a few. I want a selection of all sorts just to give it. Oh my gosh. I know I keep getting out of the beads, but I just can't help myself. The last two have done beads, haven't we? Just a few creamy coloured ones in just to lighten it up. Pearly ones. I mean, that's going to be way too many, but you'd be surprised. Just a few sequins, just for a bit of bling, because I might put some sequins in there. And I've got my beading, thread and needle. If you didn't see, oops, me make the my little beading purse. That's over on YouTube as well. I think it was February this year. So right, let's have you. And I'm literally just gonna start picking up. Might put a bead and a sequin on. For quickness. Oh, I'm stuck. Again, don't make your stitches too tight, otherwise A, you'll lose your bead, and B, you'll lose the definition of this. Come over here. And you don't have to do this bit, it's just a me thing. If anybody's seen my little animals that I do, you'll understand. The more is more for me. Oh. And you probably won't see these unless you really close up. When I go to the shows and I take these with me, people are astounded because they don't realise how different they are in real life. It's starting to come together a bit now. I feel like it's more me. Let's make a little kebab, a bead kebab. 1, 2, one over there. Let's have a gold one. Where are you? There. So I'm going to go and do some beads on this. I'm going to put some beads on here as well. And then I'll come back because obviously that will be ever so boring. Okay, so I've finished embellishing. Where are we? Little bit. I haven't gone absolutely bonkers, but it's pulled this down. So what I thought I'd do is I'll do some bullion knots on it, just every now and then, just because I just want texture. And it feels like it's not textured enough. If you want a video on bullion knots, I have got one in the winter spool series. Let's just get rid of that. I'll show you quickly if I can show you on this. If I can show you on this. Right, so you come up through your cloth, fabric, whatever, and you go and on. You take a little stitch, or as big as you want, and then you come up back next to where you came up the first time. Okay, I'm just going to turn this round so I can. And then you get your working thread and you wrap as many times as you want. The more you wrap, the loopier it'll stand off your cloth. So I'm going about that. But ideally, what you want to do is as many wraps as matches the length of your stitch you've taken. And then you just wiggle and jiggle, pull it through, and you go back down you to stitch. Okay, and that makes a little, oh, it's gone a bit skewiff there, but it's okay. There we are. Yeah, and I'm just going to do a few of those just for my own kind of, I don't know what. So you see my stitch is that long, and this is slightly longer because I want it to stand up a little bit, kind of arch. But milliner's needle or straw needle, and I have seen that they do bullion needles now, but you don't need to. And that's just a. And I'm going to go back down into that stitch. It's easier if you've got a flat surface, but obviously I'm making. Ooh, what's happened there? Gone over it. It's okay. I'm just going to go in and do a couple more, and then I'm going to come back and do the antennas. Okay, I'm going to do the antennas, but firstly I'm going to put an eye in it. I know they've not got an eye, but and it's some kind of other thing. I don't know. Someone out there will tell me. Thread my needle up. But they kind of have like a little antenna down here, two of, and then two up the top, don't they? So where's the eye going? I'm just doing a little bead just to give it a bit of whoop, whoop. I think there. There. It's not. Oh gosh. In a knot on the back again. Just sit you down. Ow. And I'm going to do a little bit of a like a little tiny antenna there. Got a knot on the back of my thread. Do there. Or don't I stitched the back to the front, so I've had to do a little bit of a mending job. And I'm just going to do a little tiny bullion knot here. Try and get my hair out. That's one of my hairs. See how much more difficult it is with a chenille needle to do a bullion knot. I struggled then to get that out. I mean, and it's not gone all flat. So that's why I always recommend a nice milliner's needle. Right, we are going. I'm going to just draw them in a minute. Oh, it looks like a tooth. Oh, gosh. Oh. So let's go. What do we think? Over here. Let's have a look. I don't think you can see. Just kind of go like a curve and then that on. So I'll do a stem stitch and then a nice French knot on the end. Okay, well I've thought about this and I just know that I don't like this negative space here. And also I've been looking at my leaf and it's just very flat. So I thought I could do some more stitching, but in this metallic Gutterman thread and add some little fear beads which might look like raindrops, but this still doesn't answer this bit. So I got this. I'm just wondering if I can make some kind of like leafy background. I don't know. Just feels a. I don't know. There's just something that's not. I can't. I can't get my head around something not quite right going on. So anyway, I will do these stitches and think about it. I might have to come back to it at a later date. Just going to do some little more running stitches. You won't see this because it's obviously a. And also I've got the tiniest needle in my hand. I kind of went outside and had a look at the hostas and thought, they've got more, oh my gosh, I can't think, my head's, I think it's because I feel a bit disappointed with myself that it's not coming together straight away. I don't know, it's just a, do you ever get that? Where you've got that, just a brain fog, I mean, or your sojo's gone, or your creativity's disappeared, or something along those lines. Just thinking if I've put some more stitching in, it'll pull it up a bit. I bet I could use an ordinary needle. Ouch. Give it a bit more texture. Don't know. I'm just been a couple of days and I've just keep looking at it and thinking that I don't know. Is it the subject matter? Which I just don't understand. I love a little snail. I hate it when I have to. I don't use any kind of chemical to get rid of them, like slug pellets or anything like that. I don't put bee traps down. I just go out and pick them off, and I know you shouldn't even do that. But I take them down the bottom of the garden into Dingley Dell. Call it Dingley Dell because it's the right tip. You know, it's all overgrown and great for the wildlife, though. I think I might have gone mad with the beads. But snails do come out, don't they, when the rain, when it's been raining. They love it. Well, they do here. I noticed one in the greenhouse the other day having a little munch on the on a cucumber. I just picked the cucumber off and took it out. and with the snail on. So I'm hoping I'm just going to get some kind of inspiration. What do we think? Just goes to show you, doesn't it? Everybody thinks, oh, Rach, you're full of good ideas, but I'm overflowing with them, but sometimes they just don't want to come out. Sometimes they just want to pass me by and go to the next person. What's creativity doesn't always come calling. Anyway, getting a bit down a rabbit hole there. Oh. So I'm going to stitch and do this. Just add some more. You can't, I know it's hard for you to see, but it has got like a little, it's giving it a little sparkle. Maybe you can see it. So I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, I'll do this. In the meantime, I'll have a little faff about. See if I can't, I don't know, I could do just some stitching. Like I'll think it. While I'm stitching, something will come to me. I'm absolutely sure. So I'll be back shortly. Alrighty. So I've finished my little beady bits, and I'm a bit happier with that. And I just thought, well, the snails, nighttime. So I'm going to do a little bit of get my paints out again, watercolours out. But I found this bit of silk velvet, and somewhere on it, where was it? It was there, that bit. Thought I could do a moon in the corner, because this has got like a sheen on it, if you see. It's beautiful. So I'm going to do a little moon in that corner. I'm going to paint the background, and then I'm going to do a kind of an Angela Harding style swirls in it. All will be revealed. Right, let's have a look. What I'm just using basic watercolours for this. Nothing special. Bit of Payne's grey. Let's have a little look of indigo as well. There we go. And a nice big moppy brush. And just wet it. Get some more going. Oh, look at you. Sorry if you can't see me. I don't know. Or you can. You can see what I'm doing. I'm literally just water and paint. Watercolour paint. There. A bit more indigo in that, I think, just to darken it down a bit. Try not to get it over there. More water. Don't be frightened. but just be careful because you don't, when you go in, I don't want it over this side really. I'm not too bothered if it does, but if you come in, it'll spread itself out. So just be careful where you're dropping your water. Do you see what I mean? A bit more in. Because it'll creep its way to this side, which it's gone over there because I was getting all excited. As you do. More water. I always say you can use any watercolours. It's just that I have my preferred. I do use the ink tents. Now I've treated myself, but watercolour is just as easy, just as effective, should I say. And I've got all kinds of manner of paints. One of the easiest ones, one of the best, well, not better, one of the good ones is this little Kohinoor palette, and it's got all, oh, can't get it undone. Oh gosh, I think I've stuck it together with paint. Anyway, you get the idea. So I'll have to sort that out. It's even got its own little palette, but they're very inexpensive, and you get a few different colours. I'm going to have to get Harvey to have I've literally just stuck that together by putting it back together with wet paint and not letting it dry. But yeah, these are dead portable, and the only thing I would say about them, they are quite intense in colour, so you need to wet it down quite a lot. You only need a little tiny drop, but they are very, very good. So for those of you who might want to invest in a nice little set. I want to say I'm a watercolourist, but I'm not. I do dabble. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and we'll do the rest. So that's my paint dried. And I'm going to put my little moon on, but first up, I'm going to just find some thread. Where are you? Let's just find a little, that'll do. Just a bit of thread to just tack it on. Oh, I'm going to sneeze, I think. Excuse me. Right. I'm going. Oh, I'm off screen. Sorry. I'm just getting a rough idea of what my moon is going to be. A little bit smaller, I think. Keeping the selvage edge on. I like that. It's a bit of a weird shape. Hold on. Cut that off. Is that better? A bit of a pointy bit there. Oh my gosh, could keep going, couldn't I? Right. Pop you on there. Couple of pins in, or a pin in. Just to hold it in, please. I'll put 2 in. Oh, right. Okay. I'm just going to put on it and do an invisible base. So for those of you who don't know what an invisible base is, it's when you do a tiny little stitch on the front and a big stitch at the back. Okay. And you shouldn't, or you can see it, but not. And then do a back stitch, or you could do a little running stitch, but I always do a back stitch. Big stitch. Just pop you back in there. Oh. Ooh. Popped a sweater jumper on, and oh my gosh, I'm now too hot. Oh, British weather. Okay, so do you see? Well, you can't see because it's virtually invisible. And I've got like bigger stitches on the back. So I'll just finish that off. Okay. Oh, sneezing, sniffling. Right. Let's just get rid of that. So what I thought I would do I'm going to do some just ordinary stitching, running stitches around my moon, just to give it a little bit of a moon glow. Right, let's get a long, no. Can't go round corners when I've got a. I've picked a few threads. This one's called Candlelight. This candy floss, and then some greys because I'm just going to do some. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just some running stitches and swirlies and things. But first off, I'm going to just do my moon rays, if you like, all around. I'll just do a few rows. As always, I will go away and do this. I don't expect you to watch me. Why have I got a knot already? I always tend to get a knot straight away when it's because I get excited. And I don't want these to be uniform. I want them to sort of be a bit hiddledy-piddledy, if you like. Just move you out of the way. Oh. So Gertrude and Reggie have been chasing each other up and down the stairs, making a right racket. It's definitely a love-hate relationship. Gertrude, who's the cat, if you're new here, she tolerates Reggie, if you can even call it that. She just looks at him with disdain. But every now and then she has a little bit of a moment and wants to play. Well, when I say play, she bashes him and then chases him away, and he thinks it's a game. So he runs off. And then when she's kind of watching him, he'll brave and chase after her. But before he can sort of get her, she turns on him and chases back. And he's such a coward. He charges back down the stairs. It's quite comical to watch. Right, I'm going to keep on doing that. But you see, let's zoom in a bit. Sorry. I'm going to keep on doing that just for a probably about that much, just to give it. Come down here, and then I'll come back. So I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So I've done my little moonbeams, moon rays, whatever you want to call them, and I'm just going to have a little play, I think, with my stitches, because as I said, I sort of want to do a kind of an Angela Harding kind of thing going on, and what she will do is she'll do a stitch in one way, maybe, and not stitching, a lino cut. This pen's just about had it. I use it all the time. So I'll do my stitches that way in one colour, and then I'm going to come and do some wiggly lines over the top. Let's see if I can find a pen that's a little bit more not had it. So I've got my lines going that way. If anybody's familiar with Angela Harding's work, I feel like she did the cover for the book, The Salt Path. Do you know what? I'm going to have to Google now and have a look. Salt Path cover. Oh, yeah, I think she has. Maybe not. Sorry, but do you see? It's got like little, and I'm really not sure now whether or not she has it. Not sure. Let's. It was. Yes, it was Angela Harding, and that was her. But that's the style I like. Can you see? She sort of goes one way, and then beautiful. I love her work. Anyway, sorry, got distracted there. Usual Rachel. So right, we're going that way. And I'll do a few wiggles in. But I don't mind if I go over. But I'll do those after I've done my lines in this way. So I've got a light and a dark, three colours, and I don't want to put too much of this in. I'm just going to sort of accent that every now and then. So I'm mainly going with these two. So I've got threaded up. But I'm going to come in. I'm starting up here. I've drawn myself lines because I don't want to be going off-piste. But the reason I kind of went Angela Harding way is this. It reminded me of it. And I thought I'll pick it up in that. I'll pick it up and follow it on. So I'm going to come and I'm going to miss out a row and come back on myself. Reggie's grumbling at something. I don't know whether you can hear him. What are you grumbling at? Hey? What are you grumbling at? I think it's something reversing. I can hear the beeping. And he's a nosy little Parker, aren't you? Back up there. Missing one again. You get the idea. Probably need one in there as well, don't I? Just draw myself a little line in. Try not to finish on an edge. I know I started on an edge here. It's not usually the best way, because you can end up with your knot coming off the end, especially if you've got a raggedy edge. But hey, it's not the end of the world, because I'm going to close this eventually. Ooh, hanky scissors. Right, so you get my idea. Let's get a different thread colour. And we'll come up over here. And I don't mind if I really don't mind if they aren't equidistant. Is that the word I'm grasping for? I've not seen the Salt Path film yet. Read the book, but I do like Gillian Anderson as an actress. So I'm hoping it'll be a nice film. So these colours you probably can't see, but they are very subtly different. Oh gosh, what have I done there? Pulled that tight, it's gone. There we go. Yeah, they're ever so slightly different, but different enough. Feel happier now. I know what I'm doing. Isn't it strange? My sort of my fog and my all that was going along with it is completely gone. It feels like I've not got the pressure to create. When you put yourself under a bit of pressure, it's so. I think that's it's not good. It's not good. Come up there and go back down. So anyway, I'm going to carry on and put some. I'm going to go. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do all my lines this way, all along, and then we'll come back and we'll do some weaving in and out. So I've done all my stitches going that way, and as I said, I just added a few of the darker ones just because I felt like it would be way too dark then. And I'm going to go over and do. Oh, got one of my hairs. Some swirls. Hope you can see my pen. I'm just going to follow that kind of line and go over the top, and I'll do 2 or 3 that way. I think, and probably a swirl this way. Hang on a minute. Where did I go with that one there? So let's come that way and swirl round there. So it's got a bit of a curl going. Seam again there. I know it's difficult for you to see this pen. I know. I don't know why I keep repeating myself. So I'm going to do that with my. Let me move over. I'll start up here. I went to the garden centre yesterday, one that's a little bit further from me, just because I needed to get out of the house for a bit. Just, you know, when you've been indoors for a while or in the same place for a bit, I just needed to get out and about, and I thought, I know, I'll treat myself to a little trip out to the garden centre. While I was there, it absolutely bucketed it down. So I had to wait under cover for the rain to stop before I could go out and have a look around the plants. Because I wanted. Oh, where have I gone? Is it to there? It's all right. I wanted some herbaceous perennials. That I'd had my eye on. Anyway, they'd not got the particular ones that I wanted, but I did come home with a couple of gems out of the. You know how there's always a little corner, isn't there, with some really sad, bedraggled little plants, looking like they've missed the watering can. So I just thought I'll have them, and they were only £1 each. So I was quite thrilled with that. So I'm looking where I've done my there. Yeah, so I was pleased with that, and a couple of other things that I got as well. Some veg that I've sort of, because I've been having my greenhouse or glass house built, I'd missed the boat really in planting things. So there's a couple of things that I wanted that I knew that I'd need to buy little plants for. So kale, purple sprouting broccoli. What else have I got? Where did I go there? What was the other thing? Cavolo Nero as well. All the good things for you. I have popped them in the green. I got some seeds as well, some for the front, my front garden. It's like a big tangle of wildflowers, and that I thought I'd get some of these honesty. So good for the pollinators and good for fragrance apparently, but they won't flower now until next year, these, I believe. So I'm not worried about that. It's just nice to have lots of different things in the front. I do have in my front garden 2 huge fennel plants. One's bronze and one's green, and they have cast their seeds into the gravel driveway, and there must be 200 little plants like this which will need to be dug up. But I thought that's a job for next week. I think I'm going to stop with that one there, I think, just for now. Yeah, transplant a few into the back and maybe put some in some pots and give them away to friends. But they do tend to take over. Also, the other thing I noticed that had self-seeded in a few places is the scabious, and it's a giant one. So I'm thrilled with that. That's got, I think there's about 5 or 6 little plants come up, so I will transplant those as well into the back garden. So right, I'm going to carry on doing this, and I won't make you watch me. Oh. So I need to go into the light a bit more. So I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So there we go. That is our little snail finished, slowly but surely. Pardon the pun. So I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I did in the end. I'm still not 100% on it, but you know, it is quite cute. So if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you're new and you want to look at the other videos, make sure that you subscribe, and of course hit the little notifications bell so you get a notification when I upload a new video. And happy stitching everyone, and I'll see you all again soon.